Good evening and welcome to the November 2021 Board of Commissioners meeting. The board did meet in executive session for personnel and legal issues before tonight's meeting. Mr. Berman, could you please call the roll?
Commissioner D'Amelio.
Here.
Commissioner Oliva.
Here.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Here.
Commissioner Siegel.
Here.
Commissioner McCabe.
Here.
Commissioner Holmes. Not here. Commissioner Wexler.
Here.
Commissioner Quinn.
Here.
Commissioner Hart.
Here. Chief, could you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Bless America.
Our first item of business is, unfortunately, Commissioner McCabe will be stepping down. We all greatly appreciate the time he spent with us. He stepped into some pretty big shoes and can never replace Andy, but everything went flawlessly. And I think everybody on the board is extremely sorry. We're looking forward to welcoming Laura, but we've all enjoyed working with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Michelle.
What is it? I didn't see it. Burn.
Hey, Bernie.
Burn. What is it?
Can we see?
Oh, yeah.
We didn't get to see.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh,
wow, that is nice. Very nice. Yeah, it's great. Beautiful. Wow. Mary's gonna have all your most wanted.
what's that?
You're gonna have most
And our next item is a swearing-in ceremony. So a fond farewell, a great welcoming here.
Mom's going to raise her right hand, put her left hand down right there. Repeat after me. Good. Just me, buddy. I, Laura Cavender.
I, Laura Cavender,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge
and that I will discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as Commissioner
as Commissioner
in Haverford Township, Delaware County,
in Haverford Township, Delaware County,
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations.
And do pictures or?
15 years. Great, not well organized.
This, we're also another, not quite farewell, but farewell swearing in ceremony for Judge Lasianko, who has served the township for 18 years.
Yeah, we should do that. We'll take a recess if that's all right with you. Give her about 5 minutes.
We're going to take a brief recess. Okay, we'll now resume. The next item on the agenda is the Citizens Forum, 30 minutes of registered speakers for agenda items only. This case.
Is it all right if I pull my mask down? Thank you. I'm sorry for reading this, but it'll go a lot faster if I do. My name is Kathy Case. I live at 121 County Line Road, next to the proposed subdivision on 111-115 County Line. This is a comment on Resolution 2241, 2021, item 16 on your agenda. We've lived at County Line for 42 years. County Line's an old street with the houses on both sides built mostly around 1905. They have wide side yards, so the proposal to shoehorn two houses into what was once a single lot will not be in keeping with the neighborhood, as was noted by the Planning Commission. In addition, many trees will be cut down, including 6 old trees on the property line next to our home, which form the major green barrier between our yard and one of the proposed houses. That new house will be 8 feet from our side yard, about the distance between me and you, and will block most sun from our east windows. So no, we are not happy about this proposal, and who really would be? If you've lived next to an empty lot for most of your lives, you don't want to see anything on it. But I'm here to urge the board not to make a bad situation worse for us, and that you grant at least 2 of the requested exceptions in this proposal. First, Section 165B4C of the subdivision code states, quote, sidewalks shall not be required where, in the opinion of the Board of Commissioners, heavy pedestrian traffic will result, or where pedestrian safety requires such sidewalks. There are no sidewalks on County Line Road, and according to Section 157 of the Township Code, they are not required in this existing residential area. Yes, some people do walk along the shoulders, but very few. There are sidewalks on Pennsylvania Avenue 1 block over that lead directly to the Amtrak station and to the SEPTA station. Installing this short sidewalk on County Line would literally be a sidewalk to nowhere, as the Planning Commission called it. The neighborhood population would only be growing by 2 households, not resulting in increased pedestrian traffic. A serious problem is the fact that there are no storm sewers on County Line Road, not one. There are no curbs on the Haverford Township side of County Line Road. In any wet weather, the water rushes down County Line from Old Lancaster and is absorbed by trees in the yards along the road. Thus, installing a sidewalk and especially a curb along the 200 feet of 111-115 will effectively funnel all the water that might have been absorbed by those trees in the ground into our front yard, and probably next door as well. Where else would it go? Our front yard floods from the road as it is, and has sunk considerably already, and our backyard floods from the yard runoff from the proposed site. We have a 1905 drainage system whereby our roof water goes through cast iron pipes to a cistern in our backyard, as do several other homes on that street. It was innovative at that time. That kept our property and basement dry for the first 25 years we owned the house, but like elsewhere, the situation has changed with the climate. We now have water problems, and the basements of at least 4 houses near us also have French drains and some pumps, as do we. In addition, the sidewalk would require cutting down 3 or 4 old trees that border the road, pretty much the rest of the old growth on the front of these lots. I believe the Shade Tree Commission recommended against the sidewalk also for this reason. Second, the requirement for a recreational open space, according to 165C4, is quite strange in this context. The property backs up to the polo field, a 19-acre recreational open space. The open space for the 2 lots would have to be the backyards of the 2 houses to be built, I guess adjacent to the polo field and adjoining my backyard. Opening 2 backyards to the public does not seem optimal. Finally, I'm concerned about how this project plan conforms to stormwater codes under Chapter 78, Article 2, 7825C3, which calls for new developments to have a study of the effect of runoff volumes on adjacent properties. Perhaps the studies required by this code were performed and we did not see them. Nobody talked to us, and we are the only adjacent property. So of course we'd have loved if this whole project were denied and only 1 new house were put on the lot, the border trees retained, and the character of the neighborhood kept. But minimally, we request that you do not require a sidewalk to nowhere or a backyard open space. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers on agenda items? We did receive 1 letter. Unfortunately, we were only reading letters during the pandemic when the meetings were not open to the public. So that letter has been shared with the other commissioners, but we are not reading the letters at meetings at this point. Item number 4 is the commissioner committee updates. Does anyone have any updates? There being none, item number 5, Bureau of Fire update. Commissioner Wexler.
Yes, Mr. President, thank you. The Haverford Township Bureau of Fire responded to 124 incidents in the month of October 2021. The membership response total for members responding to calls was 1,304 members. The average response was 17 members. Their weekly combined training was 684 hours. All 5 companies participated and attended the Haverford Township Day, including the parade, and annual fire prevention school visits and station open houses were conducted for Fire Prevention Month in October. We also had a major fire today at Westchester Pike and Manoa Road. No injuries, substantial fire. If maybe later the chief wants to address that, he can in his remarks. But there were no injuries to any of the firemen today. That'll be included in next month's report. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 6, Police Department crime update. Chief Viola.
Thank you, Commissioner. The police crime update for October 2021, 26 criminal arrests, 3 juvenile arrests, 141 traffic citations, 12 non-traffic citations, 118 written warnings, 573 parking tickets. And 1 robbery, 3 burglaries. And the robbery was at Coles Westchester Pike. 2 females were stopped by staff after being suspected of retail theft. The actors pushed the employee to the ground using force and fled the store. 1 suspect was identified. The investigation is ongoing. A burglary, 2600 block Ashwood Drive. It was a house under construction. Somebody got in there and removed tools, TV, and a small refrigerator. 300 block of Cherry Lane. Someone entered the residence and took 2 gift cards and some cash. 2400 block of Haverford Road, Ardmore, Axon. Police responded for a window being smashed out. The business was checked for anybody inside the building, but the rock was thrown through the window and the building was entered. This has been a rash of gas station burglars throughout the Tri-County area. We had 10 attempts and thefts from autos at the CREC. Credit cards were taken from a car. 600 block of Marion Avenue. 2 bags were taken. 1300 block of Delmont. 600 block of Lakeside. 1400 block of Johnson, and as usual, most of these were unlocked.
On 10/15, Westchester Pike at Coles, we had a catalytic converter taken from the vehicle while they were working inside the store. The value of the converter is about $2,500. On a block of All Gates Drive, the homeowner observed a male on her ring camera going through her vehicle. Police were called, and the male did take off and get away. 500 block of Cathmere, 1400 block of Briarwood, and 100 block of Sycamore. And during these, one arrest was made for vehicle thefts, or vehicles entered. And we had 5 K9 usages. As far as the fires today, what Commissioner Wexler had referred to as 10:03, 10:05 Westchester Pike. It came in at about 10:30 this morning. Building fire with entrapment, and they're above the stores right up on Westchester Pike. There was heavy fire in the back of the apartment. Had burned for quite some time. When the investigators got there, you could see up in the ceiling had burnt most of the joist away. So I'm assuming it burned for a good 45 minutes before we were called. The person inside was able to get out through a window. He had minor smoke inhalation. Police got him down through a fire escape, and he was taken to the hospital for minor injuries. The fire department was on the scene till well after noon today. Chief Mike Norman called the second alarm for manpower, brought in all 5 fire companies, Radnor, Marple, and 1 company from Upper Darby. So they worked well. No injuries from the firemen, and that's my report.
Thank you very much. Anybody have any questions?
Thank you.
Chief. Item number 7, Township Auditor update. Mr. Anderson, congratulations on your reelection.
I reviewed the warrants and expenditures for this meeting. I found no irregularities and all my questions were answered to my satisfaction. In addition, I want to say congratulations and welcome to Laura Cavender. I also want to congratulate all the other candidates who won their races. And as you know, you all have 4 more years of my township auditor reports to look forward to. I also want to add, as long as the Phillies, Sixers, and Eagles are in Philadelphia, I will have more material.
Thank you. We're looking forward to it. Item number 8, Township Auditor update. Mr. Berman.
Councilor Manager, yes.
Yes, you want to take
do
this
that
job
too,
too?
yeah. Well, thanks to Jim McCann's, we were able to work with the county and arrange a few COVID vaccination sites here in Haverford Township. The dates are tentative, but I think they're pretty good. November 12th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. It will be a pediatric vaccination clinic here in this room. On December 2nd from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., there will be a booster shot clinic open to the public at the CREC. And on December 3rd from 2 to 6 p.m., there will be another pediatric vaccination clinic here at the Township Building right in this room. All the information about how to register and everything else is available on the county's website, and that's all I have.
Thank you. It's great. Great news. Item number 9 is approval of minutes.
President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of October 12th, 2021.
Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Oliva. Mr. Berman, please call the roll.
Commissioner D'Amelio.
Yes.
Commissioner Oliva.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Siegel.
Yes.
Commissioner Cavender. Commissioner Holmes is absent. Commissioner Wexler.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes. Item number 10 is approval of warrants.
Mr. President,
Mr. Siegel.
motion to approve the following warrant, number 11, 2021, totaling $5,061,305.14. The General and Sewer Fund payroll for October 14, 2021 for $717,350.02. The General and Sewer Fund payroll for October 28, 2021 in the amount of $688,733.91. General Fund disbursements, number 11, 2021, in the amount of $186,797.81. Sewer fund disbursements, number 11, 2021, in the amount of $3,113,994.61. Community Development Block Grant Disbursement, 11, 2021, in the amount of $55,914.86. The Capital Projects Fund Disbursement, number 11, 2021, in the amount of $242,400.24. The American Rescue Plan Fund Disbursement, number 11, 2021, in the amount of $24,517.80. And the ACH for the Pennsylvania Office of Unemployment Benefits for the third quarter in the amount of $2,462.23. And finally, the credit card statement ending October 27, 2021, in the amount of $19,133.66.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Quinn. Any comments? Mr. Berman, please call the roll.
First time in 13 years I haven't had a commentary on that or heard a commentary.
He's not here tonight.
Commissioner D'Amelio.
Yes.
Commissioner Oliva.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Siegel.
Yes.
Commissioner Cavender.
Yes.
Commissioner Wexler.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes. Item number 11, ordinance number P14, 2021, additions to the Historic Resources Survey, second reading.
Mr. President, motion to adopt the second reading of ordinance number P14, 2021, amending and supplementing ordinance 1960 as amended and known as the general laws of the Township of Haverford, Chapter 182, Article 13, Historic Preservation, by revising the Historic Resources Survey.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Oliva. Any comments? There being none, Mr. Berman, please call the roll.
Mr. D'Amelio.
Yes.
Mr. Oliva.
Yes.
Mr. McCluskey.
Yes.
Mr. Siegel.
No.
Commissioner Cavender.
Yes.
Commissioner Wexler.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes. Item number 12, ordinance number P19, 2021, traffic, second reading.
Mr. President, motion to adopt second reading of ordinance number P19, 2021, authorizing traffic restrictions on the following highways: special purpose parking zones in front of 2939 Berkeley Road, Ardmore, PA, across from 37 West Benedict Avenue, parking time limited to rescind on Clover Lane, east, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., 2 hours from East Eagle Road to East Hathaway Lane.
Second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Siegel. Mr. Berman, please call the roll.
Commissioner D'Amelio.
Yes.
Commissioner Oliva.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Siegel.
Yes.
Commissioner Cavender.
Yes.
Commissioner Wexler.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes. Item number 13 is ordinance number P20, 2021. This is a traffic first reading.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance number P20, 2021, authorizing traffic restrictions on the following highways: to establish parking of commercial vehicles prohibited at all times on North Belfield Avenue on both sides from Steel Road extending 160 feet past Leadham Road.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner D'Amelio. Mr. Berman, please call the roll.
Commissioner D'Amelio.
Yes.
Commissioner Oliva.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Siegel.
Yes.
Commissioner Cavender.
Yes.
Commissioner Wexler.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes. Item number 14, resolution number 2237, 2021, primary and alternate sewage enforcement officer.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 2237-2021, adopting and approving submission, the names, address, and phone number of the primary and alternate sewage enforcement officers for Haverford Township, the Department of Environmental Protection.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Oliva. Any comments? Mr. Berman, please call the roll.
Commissioner D'Amelio.
Yes.
Commissioner Oliva.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Siegel.
Yes.
Commissioner Cavender.
Yes.
Commissioner Wexler.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes. Item number 15 is resolution number 2240, 2021, the American Rescue Plan Act.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 2240-2021, approves premium payments to volunteer firefighters serving Bonaire, Brookline, Lanark, Manoa, and Oakmont fire companies.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Oliva. Any comment?
D'Amelio.
D'Amelio, I'm sorry.
That's the Italian guy. He's the Latino guy.
I'm Cuban, Latino. Gotta get our stuff straight.
Are there any comments?
Cuban.
Mr. Byrne, please call the roll.
You're good.
Commissioner D'Amelio.
Yes.
Commissioner Oliva.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Siegel.
Yes.
Commissioner Cavender.
Yes.
Commissioner Wexler.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes. Item number 16, resolution number 2241, 2021, subdivision 111 to 115 County Line Road.
How's that? Okay. I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 2241, 2021, approving the preliminary final minor subdivision plan for DN Investments LLC for the property located at 111 through 115 County Line Road, Bryn Mawr, Haverford Township, Delaware County, and known as DC Folio numbers 2205 0021500 and 2205 0021600 has been submitted to permit the subdivision of a 53,029 square foot lot into 3 parcels. The resultant lot areas are as follows. Lot 1, 16,264 square feet. Lot 2, 16,244 square feet. And Lot 3, 20,521 square feet. The subject property is within the R4 low to medium residential district and is located in the 5th Ward. The aforesaid plans were prepared by Herbert McCombie Jr., P.E., Consulting Engineers, and Surveyors, Inc., Broomall, PA, dated June 17th, 2021, and last revised on August 23rd, 2021, subject to the recommendations of the Planning Commission.
Seconded by Commissioner Wexler. Mr. Faulkner, do you have any comments? Ms. Case was concerned about the stormwater studies.
Every subdivision that comes into this township that is over a certain square footage of acreage and disturbed acreage requires a stormwater management study. This subdivision did require that. It was submitted, it was reviewed, and after some modifications, they did meet the required stormwater management ordinance. And basically, just for Mrs. Case's information, that requires the applicant to determine the existing conditions on the site and the existing flows and everything to and off that site. And what they have to do in layman's terms is once everything is done and all their improvements are made, they cannot exceed those existing conditions. And in many cases, they have to reduce it. So in other words, if there was a certain amount of storm water flowing, leaving that site today, say 50 cubic feet per second, they couldn't be above that after all that is said and done. Okay, and in many cases, in certain what they call storm events, they have to be below that requirement. So, and they've submitted that, they've done it in accordance with the ordinance, and that is available. It's public record, so it is available to be looked at. So, but most importantly, they did meet the ordinance.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? I will say, go ahead.
The question on the sidewalks, how I'm reading this is looks like the recommendation is to waive the necessity for the sidewalks?
Yes.
Okay. To waive the necessity for the sidewalks, and that's how it's planned, and that's how the Planning Commission approved it?
That's the Planning Commission went back and forth and ultimately waived it. We'll say that the sidewalks, and I appreciate Ms. Case's comments, the sidewalks do lead to the polo field. One of the things that's consistently coming up in all the comments on the comprehensive plan is people are looking to make the town more walkable, are looking for more sidewalks. So, again, in the past, we've waived it, but it's...
Well, and I guess the only thing I would raise, I understand how the Planning Commission did it for this property, and we can, I'm not saying I'm against the waiver in this instance, but we had this come up 6 or 7 months ago in a similar area. I think that was in the 4th or 5th, or on the border of the 4th and 5th.
Fifth.
And the concept is that we have this requirement to require sidewalks, and we have reasons to require sidewalks, including stormwater. And until the first person goes, they become sidewalks to nowhere. And if we keep granting waivers, they're always going to be sidewalks to nowhere. So I'm not against it, but I think we as a board need to think through, if we're going to have that requirement, let's have a real requirement, or let's at least think through how we're going to implement that in areas where the majority of the streets or the majority of the region does not have sidewalks initially, because the first one is always going to be a sidewalk to nowhere. So maybe we can relook at that ordinance.
Commissioner Siegel.
Yeah, this is one of the sort of horses we've beaten to death, but not moved forward on over the past few years, and I hope this board will. We had discussed multiple times sort of what I will call a flaw in our code, where it's essentially optional to have sidewalks on a property, and this board, I hope, will make the sentiment that they should be mandatory and only waived with appropriate exceptions. I'm not going to get into the particulars of this, but it's important to remember sidewalks are not for the people who live in the property. They're for people who are going from one place to another. So when we heard on the property that Commissioner McCluskey talked about, that they don't need them because no one's going to use them that was the veterinary facility. That's not the point at all. And we were in the process of scheduling public hearings to amend the code, and then COVID hit. I certainly hope that next year this board takes this up, because this is a significant issue. And for those who walk, and if we want to make this town fully accessible, we need sidewalks. But I don't want to make this property the sort of poster child, because it's not fair either.
Right. I mean, I think what you said is true, but I think we should have some forethought into going forward, and the waiver in this property's instance, as Ms. Case said, is probably appropriate.
I'd just like to make a comment, and coming in from, at this point in the process, to me, it was clear that we don't have the code enforcement that we need in order to build a more pedestrian accessible community. I agree, this isn't the case, this isn't the particular case that should make that policy or attempt to change it. But I do think we need to look at sidewalks, and I agree, there's never going to be a sidewalk if you don't put the first one in. And I would just also say my personal experience on County Line Road was I would have loved to have had a sidewalk when I was door knocking, for example, because the traffic's passing, and anytime you can get to stand on a sidewalk and take a little break is useful, because people are walking those roads anyway. So that's all I would have to say on it. And again, I don't want to use this particular project as an example to make a point, but I do agree with Commissioner Siegel and Commissioner McCluskey.
I'm in agreement as well. I would have preferred that we had sidewalks there. I totally agree with you. It's a road I used to run on. It's near a park, but I'm not in favor at this point. I think that I agree with Commissioner Siegel. We need to change it. We need sidewalks in town, and we can't, unless we start doing this, it's not going to get done. So.
Because then you're walking on people's lawns and stuff, and I don't think anybody likes when people walk on their lawns. So, and if you walk into the street, it's not safe. So I agree with everybody who has said everything.
I think you have to also look at the sidewalks and the curb also address the stormwater issue. That you have runoff that goes up onto lawns. The curbing, well, I know it's a major thorn in the realtor side. It's designed to channel water to our storm sewer systems or to the end of the road to get there. So it has a major effect there as well as the walkability as well. So I think this is a tough one, because this is a subdevelopment, not an individual property owner redeveloping their house or making additions. So the zoning ordinances should address this, and I agree. We need to put this in the zoning code that we have sidewalks, especially in the subdevelopment level. Where the developer's doing it and you're making money, that's probably the time to do this. So
Yeah, we'll say that it was unfortunate because actually the developer initially had it in and it was taken out. So,
Put it back in.
all right, Mr. Berman, call the roll.
Mr. D'Amelio.
Yes.
Mr. Oliva.
Yes.
Mr. McCluskey.
Yes.
Mr. Siegel.
Yes.
Commissioner Cavender.
Yes.
Commissioner Wexler.
No.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
No. Item number 17, resolution number 2242, 2021, COVID-19 Back to Business Grant Program.
Mr. President, motion to adopt Resolution 2242, 2021, authorizing the closure of the Back to Business Phase 1 program that provided assistance to local businesses and not-for-profits who experienced the negative economic effects of COVID-19 pandemic, and authorizing the opening of the Back to Business Phase 2 program, which expands eligibility criteria.
Second.
Mr. Berman, I don't know if, do you want to comment at all on
I think it'd be more appropriate for,
Ms. Cuthbertson?
that's correct.
Sure. So what this resolution is doing is it's asking the board to close Phase 1 that was open. If you remember, Phase 1 had a $25,000 threshold. The business had to have $25,000 in receipts. And it also had a 20% reduction in gross receipts. So we had those two eligibility thresholds. We would like Phase 2 to open and remove those to make this program more eligible to as many businesses as we can. We have given out about $110,000 to date, but we think by removing these two eligibility criteria in Phase 2, that we can open it up to even more businesses and get more money into their hands.
Great, thank you. Mr. Berman, can you call the roll?
Commissioner D'Amelio.
Yes.
Commissioner Oliva.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Siegel.
Yes.
Commissioner Cavender.
Yes.
Commissioner Wexler.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes. Item number 18 is resolution number 2243, 2021, lot consolidation, 155 Coopertown Road.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 2243, 2021, approving the lot line correction plan for Dennis and Anne Marie Friel, 155 Coopertown Road, Haverford Township, Delaware County, and known as DC Folio number 220400014701, has been submitted to permit the consolidation of an 8.5-foot wide portion of land abutting the legal right-of-way lines of Coopertown Road and College Avenue with the subject property. No construction or other development activities are proposed as a result. The property is within the R1 residential zoning district and is located in the 5th Ward. The aforesaid plans were prepared by Nave Newell, Inc., Wayne, PA, dated January 15th, 2021, and last revised July 12th, 2021, subject to compliance of the Planning Commission's recommendations.
That second, I'm sorry.
Seconded by Commissioner Quinn.
And I just have to say that Laura, you did great for having two really long ones to read out tonight. If that was on my first night, we'd still be sitting here. So.
If Larry was here, it would be.
Thank you.
Mr. Berman, can you please call the roll?
Commissioner D'Amelio.
Yes.
Commissioner Oliva.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Siegel.
Yes.
Commissioner Cavender.
Yes.
Commissioner Wexler.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes. Item number 19 is resolution number 2244, 2021, funding storm sewer repairs.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Siegel.
motion to adopt Resolution 2244-2021, authorizing two stormwater projects located at Frederick and Ellis Roads and at Euclid Avenue respectively to be funded through available monies within the water, sewer, and broadband infrastructure category of the Haverford Township American Rescue Plan Act spending structure as adopted by the Board of Commissioners at our August 9, 2021 meeting.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Oliva. There are no comments, Mr. Berman, please call the roll.
Mr. D'Amelio.
Yes.
Mr. Oliva.
Yes.
Mr. McCluskey.
Yes.
Mr. Siegel.
Yes.
Commissioner Cavender.
Yes.
Commissioner Wexler.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes. Item number 20, resolution number 2245, 2021, Arlie Grant, Haverford Road.
Mr. President,
Mr. Mc-
motion to adopt resolution number 2245, 2021, that the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Haverford, Delaware County, and it is hereby resolved by the authority of the same, that the Finance Director, Assistant Township Manager Amy Cuthbertson of said political subdivision be authorized and directed to sign the attached automated red light enforcement program project funding agreement on its behalf.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Oliva. Mr. Berman, please call the roll.
Commissioner D'Amelio.
Yes.
Commissioner Oliva.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Siegel.
Yes.
Commissioner Cavender.
Yes.
Commissioner Wexler.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes. Item number 21, contracts, agreements, public works, seasonal leaf collection.
I'd like to make a motion to approve of the independent contractor agreement with PAR of Recycle Works Philadelphia PPA for services or related to seasonal leaf collection.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Oliva. Mr. Berman, please call the roll.
Commissioner D'Amelio.
Yes.
Commissioner Oliva.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Siegel.
Yes.
Commissioner Cavender.
Yes.
Commissioner Wexler.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes. Next, it is storm sewer repairs, Frederick and Ellis.
Mr. President,
Mr. Siegel.
motion to award a storm sewer repairs contract to N. Abenizio in the amount of $359,540, submitting the lowest responsible bid.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Quinn. Mr. Berman, please call the roll.
Commissioner D'Amelio.
Yes.
Commissioner Oliva.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Siegel.
Yes.
Commissioner Cavender.
Yes.
Commissioner Wexler.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes. Item number 22 is continuation of the citizens forum for non-agenda items. John.
Hey, Michelle.
Michelle Alvarez, 134 Hastings Avenue. I'd just like some clarification. You made an announcement about a COVID booster event at the CREC and to register on the Delaware County website. I went on the Delaware County website and there's nothing about it. So does anybody have clarification for where we can sign up for that?
Yes, the clarification is that I said that those dates were tentative and it will be on the county's website as soon as it's finalized.
Okay,
So it's
do you-
not quite,
I was going to say, do you have an idea when? Because obviously it's going to be a top item for people to sign up for.
yep, we're going to put it out as soon as we can. I just wanted to announce that it was coming up. And I know it will be a hot item and I guess we'll send a constant contact as soon as we can.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Sure. Anyone else?
First, I just want to say I second the need for sidewalks. I'm somebody who's walked and ran all over this township and make a lot of use for them. But also, too, I want to say, this board is going to go through a lot of changes. At the beginning of the year, I didn't think it'd go through any changes, but through the next few months, there's going to be some major shifts. And I will want to hope the best for the new board that's starting and coming on, and also that this board still serves the community well, and that no matter what the party composition is, people always feel like they are heard, and that this board makes the best choices for the residents and its community. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we're committed to doing that. Anyone else? New business. Anyone with new business? Or she could do it under.
Should I do it now? I just wanted to make a quick comment to say it's a real honor to be sitting up here. It's not lost on me that Andy had this seat, and I had so much respect for his model of service and his attention to Ward 5, and I just am grateful that the voters selected me to serve on the Board of Commissioners, and I'm really happy to be here with each of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Other business, Commissioner D'Amelio.
Well, I just want to congratulate you on your victory. Welcome to the board. And Cheryl, welcome when you come in January. We look forward to having you. What was the other point I wanted to make?
You're getting old.
I'm getting old, yeah. You know that. I'm sorry?
Tomorrow.
I am old? I'm starting to find the senior citizen commercials very interesting. I used to change the channel, now I watch them. Oh, God, I can't remember. I'll pass. Thank you.
Right. Well, I'd
Commissioner
like to,
Oliva.
again, welcome Cheryl, who, very glad she won in the second ward, very happy. Also, Judy and Laura, welcome to the board. It really was it's going to be nice to have, I was talking earlier with my neighbor here. I know your name's McCloskey. Come on, man.
You're getting old.
Yeah, I'm getting old. And it's going to be nice to have women on the board. Three women on the board. A little more diversity, which is necessary in today. So, that's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner McCloskey.
I'll just echo my colleagues and welcome to Laura tonight, and really looking forward to working with you over the next couple of years, and obviously to Sherry and Judy when they join the board. But I think we'll continue to serve the citizens of Haverford Township and do our best to do what we think is right. And hopefully that's what this board has done, and that what we will continue to do. But now with, as Mario pointed out, some female representation, which I think is very important and needed. Since Commissioner Holmes isn't here, I will just remind everyone that we have our budget meeting on November 15th. Everyone is welcome to attend. Parks and Rec is also on December 4th having their Chili Trail Run, which is the 5K run through the park. It's the same course that they do during the summers, only now in colder temperatures. So it's December 4th at 9 a.m. And just a reminder to everyone in Haverford that we have boards and commissions like the Parks and Rec Board or the Historical Commission, or various ways where you can serve your community. And it's listed on our website, and the deadline to apply to those boards is November 12th, and everyone is encouraged to attend and donate your time to the township. And that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you. Commissioner Siegel.
Thank you. I'll welcome Laura, and it's particularly interesting because 13 years ago this month was when I took my seat on the board, and next month will be my last meeting here. But when I announced I was leaving, or wasn't seeking re-election, one of my hopes was that we would have a more diverse board, and I am very happy to see that the community agreed with me. It's also interesting because this month, with some of what we approved tonight, sort of highlights what Laura and Cheryl and Judy will see, which I consider to be the joys and the challenges of sitting on this board. It's really heartwarming when we can do things that matter and help people. We did so tonight with the project on Frederick. But it also highlights that there's challenges along the way, including sometimes people don't realize how much we work behind the scenes in order to bring a project to fruition, including that, which is a $350,000 expenditure that's necessary, but took a lot of time, money, effort from everyone, from the township staff to our engineers, and I thank them all because the public doesn't realize just how much all of us do that they don't see, that we don't tell them everything we do. We don't sit up here and say, this month we did this or that. And as I'm sort of reminiscing, we had election day, and I've worked the polls in this township. I've been there for over 30 years straight, at Linwood School and other places. And what is always remarkable to me is, at least in the polls I go to, is the kindness of residents, who, even if they don't want to hear anything about elections, and I learned long ago that you don't give out political literature in November, you give out the leaf schedule. And
I did too. I learned that.
and it really works because no one wants to hear who you want them to vote for, but everyone wants the leaf schedule. And it makes people smile because they're marching out and they don't want to hear from you. Oh, leaf schedule? Okay, fine. But the other thing I was asked questions about a couple of things. One of which was what was I doing? What am I going to do when I'm not on the board anymore? And I had mentioned when I announced that I was not seeking re-election that I wanted to work toward dealing with the issues that first struck with the Tree of Life shooting that was 3 years ago. And for those who notice, and I have about 150 ties, but ever since I have only worn Save the Children ties to public meetings, because that shooting, the worst attack on the Jewish community in U.S. history, struck me like no other. And what I was saying that when I made that announcement really was channeling that my efforts, for those who are interested, are to continue to work to address the issues of hate, to address the issues of intolerance that unfortunately are too pervasive in our society. And in that time, I'm now on the board of the Philadelphia Anti-Defamation League, and I'm co-chairing their community outreach task force, because I firmly believe that the only way we can make the dialogue better, the dialogue more civil, and try to bring some sanity to a lot of what we've seen and experienced in recent years and long before, is to talk and to recognize that, just because someone may be a different faith or a different color or a different sex does not make them any different or lesser or greater. And whatever little bit I can do, that's what I'm channeling, and I'm happy to talk to people about it. But it also means that we get change on this board, and I think that's also good because new people bring new perspectives, new ideas, and I think that come 2022, I think we're going to see a different dynamic, which happens just with change. You see it whether it's a baseball team or the board, and I'm looking forward to sort of being able to sit home and watch. And Mr. Anderson, not all of us have to be here for the next 4 years for your auditor reports. So I thank everyone and for listening.
Thank you. Commissioner Kavanaugh, any comments?
I don't really have much additional to say, except that I do want to reiterate Kevin's reminder of the boards and commissions deadline on November 12th. We'll be conducting those interviews, and then people will be appointed in January, and it's really important, so spread the word to your neighbors. I know on the Human Relations Commission in particular, we're looking for people with some kind of legal experience potentially, but all are welcome, and if anyone has any questions about commissions, talk to any of us. That's it from me. Thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Wilks.
Yes, I'll offer my congratulations. Laura, welcome to the board, and it's nice to see you here. I'll also offer my congratulations to Jerry and Larry Holmes on your re-elections.
Thank you.
Well done. And to the two newcomers, we'll welcome them in another month or so, and welcome and congratulations on your election wins. I'd also like to encourage people, November 18th is the meeting of the Hilltop Civic Association. We need volunteers on the Civic Association. We have a lot of events coming up. Santa Claus Sundays are coming up, and we need people to do that. The Christmas tree lights. The group is energetic and hardworking, but they're small. It needs to grow. We need your help, and that organization could always use some more volunteers. I'd also like to thank them and the Parks Department and Recreation Department for the additions and reopening of Richmond Park The new equipment is first class, well-liked by all the residents and for the younger kids. It's a welcome addition and a great upgrade to the Ninth Ward. So thank you to the Recs Department, and thank you to Hilltop Civic. I know Amy and her team played a great role in getting the equipment, picking the equipment, and working with the Recreation Department. So thank you all. And I think we will have some change. I think, welcome, you've joined just in recent years, Jane Hall, Carol McDonald, Joan Genthert. We've had, quite a few women throughout the years, but only one at a time. So it'll be fun, especially for a guy that lives in a house with 4 daughters and a wife. So, yeah, so I'm used to it. So anyway, welcome, again, welcome, and congratulations to all that won re-election as well.
Thank you. Commissioner Quinn.
Okay, I would like to congratulate everybody, Cheryl and Judy and Laura, Jerry, Larry. It will be great to work with all of you guys. And also Darby Road is open, so that's good news, I'm sure, for everybody in this town. And also congratulations also to everybody who ran last week. All of us know how tough it is to run, and I encourage the ones who didn't win to stay or just stay involved and to have your voice heard. I think that's important for everybody. And also, we have a lot to be thankful this month before that next meeting. I believe it will be Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. So, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Commissioner Holmes is out of town, but he did.
Wow.
There's only so much I can read, so it'll be. He wanted to send his best wishes to Laura Cavender, our newest colleague, and welcomes Laura to the board. He would also like to thank his friends and neighbors and constituents who granted him the privilege to continue to serve as commissioner. He graciously accepts the privilege and looks forward to working to the work of the ward and the township. Now, I'm sure if Larry was here, this comment would have gone on much longer, but I'm just going to echo everybody else. Laura, it's great to have you here. We're looking forward to the change, but we still have a lot of work to do. It starts next Monday. We have a budget to pass, so there's a lot of things to be done in the rest of the year, and we'll have Commissioner Siegel and Oliva to work with us as well. So everybody have a good night, and kind of a motion to adjourn.
So moved.